Hello and welcome to an EngView video. And anybody that's following my videos knows that I love real-life customer applications. So this week I was out at a customer site and we were tweaking in one of the EngView CAM drivers for the machine. And the customer asked, hey, I designed this print that you see up here on the screen in Corel Draw, printed it out, and I'm already done with it and stuff, but I'd like to cut it out using the EngView software and clean it up and maybe even use our CAM driver. So let me kind of take you through that real quick of what it takes to do that. So I'm going to close this and we'll close all tabs here. And I'm going to drag this file in. So it's sitting on my other screen at the moment, but I'm just going to drag it in. So it's a PDF. I just drag and drop it on here. And so now you can see that it's basically converted everything, taking the colors out, and we're just kind of seeing the meat of what we want. I'm going to click on that little arrow on the right here, and you're going to see styles. And so this is going to show you a bunch of styles, a number of default styles. And I'm just going to remove all the unused styles that we don't want here at the moment. We're going to try to isolate and say, what do we really want, and get it on the styles that we want. So you can see like this is plotting, this is cutting, this is, actually something that we want to cut, and here's something that we want to cut. So let's turn these off at the moment. We'll just draw a nice square around this part, and I'm going to do Control Delete because we don't want any of that. And we'll turn back on these other layers. And then what we can do is actually, I'll turn off plotting. Let's just draw around. And this customer actually wanted to cut both the inside and outside lines. One to cut out the sign, and then the other to create a fixture to put back on the printer to flip the signs to print the other side. So let's take those and we'll convert those to cutting. And now we'll remove the unused layers, okay, or unused styles. So now we basically have a cutting one and we have a plotting one. We want to see how well this really, came in, because a lot of times when you draw things in Corel, you get lines on top of lines, this kind of stuff. So we have a really cool, under transformations, this fix-it tool. And so you can see right away we've got some errors here. Now, in the case of these separated contours, because this is not a normal packaging job, we're just saying, hey, these contours are separated, and that could be an issue. In our case, it's not really an issue, but you got all the contours, you got the holes, and you can turn them on and off or whatever. But we really want to focus on these unconnected ends and these duplicate edges, okay? And so we can start to work our way through and find them pretty easily. You can kind of see up here, this is showing us one of the unconnected ends right up there, and we have another one actually that's down here at the bottom. So let's first get rid of some of the duplicated lines. So you can see right now this has got this one checked, so I'm just going to hit that, hit Control Delete, and now it's actually filled in that whole area because we have the unconnected ends. So let's come in here and let's use our trim tool. So I'm already on here, so I'm going to click on trim, and I'll trim this line off right here. And let's zoom way out again, and we'll zoom down to this other end, and you can see these two are not connected. So we have a nice extend tool. We'll click on that, we'll extend, and now we've kind of cleaned that up. So we'll work our way around, and it looks like we've got 4 more of those overlapping lines, so we don't want them to cut twice. So we'll go in here and actually we'll just go back to the arrow, and we'll click on this, and we'll delete. And same thing here. Click on here and delete, delete, and delete. Okay, and so you can see our tool cleanup and stuff. We've kind of seen, hey, we've taken care of everything. And we'll turn off our wrench tool. And in the case of what happened with this customer too, unfortunately, these 3 bottom registration marks actually had gotten cut off on the sheet. And so he only had these 2 up here, which is fine. The machine can do just fine with 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Layout tab, and we're going to go to the registration marks or fiducials, and we're going to grab like this inch fiducial, and you can type in a value. I already typed in 1/4 of an inch, and now we'll come over here and we'll just center this up, and we'll drop a fiducial on there, and we'll drop a registration mark or fiducial on there. Okay, so now you can see, cool. We've got a couple of registration marks, so we really don't need this plotting style anymore, so we'll turn that off. And then at this point, basically you could save this, you could go to File, and you could go Export, and you could export it to a PDF, Or in our case, they had the CAM module. It was actually a multi-cam machine. So we'll go and select this, but we have tons of different, I've only got a few enabled right here, but we got lots of different CAM modules. And if we don't have a CAM module for your machine, we can take a look at it as long as we can get the G-code structure and stuff from the manufacturer. But in our case, I'm going to pick this EngView sample maker, and I can just basically click on here, generate a quick tool path. If we want to see what the order looks like, we can kind of play through it. So you can see the camera is going to be first, and we're going to do our cutting. If we go back to the beginning, we can even play through it and see the the order that it's going to run here. So it's smart that it's going to do the insides first and the outsides second, which is great. And we'll just kind of speed that up and let it go to the end here. All right, and then all we have to do is go hit NC. We'll generate a file, and in this case, you can kind of see here, get the G-code real quick. This just drops it into a file, a default directory, but it's going to run the camera first here. It's going to go find those two fiducials, and it's going to come down here, and it's going to go, in that case, to tool 41 and execute the rest of the code. All right, so, and the other thing, just real quick, is you can see in here, for example, like cutting was tool 41. Here's our feed rate. What's the tool up position? Do we want to cut past the bottom of the material? Notice it says inner contours first. We've got creasing, all that kind of stuff. And let's say we made a number of changes to this. You'll notice I have a version here called like Multicam eFlute. So anything that you do, you can always come in and save these templates, and that way you've got a configuration ready to go. So you drop this in, hit output, and you're ready to rock. So hopefully you found this useful. It's like I said, we've got a lot of customers out there that not only do packaging and displays, but they also do just a lot of general cutting. And so we've got some cool tools for that. Thanks for watching.